Hi ladies, this is Jules. I'm going to share with you guys today a layout that I made for my sister Lisa. It is so pretty. I didn't want to show it on my craft mat, so I tossed a piece of muslin in the background there to hide all the junk. And so yeah, I'm going to show you what I did. I really miss Lisa, and she's been gone for probably about a month now. I wanted to make her something when she was here, but we got busy with other stuff, and so I didn't get to. And so now I have the opportunity to, well, the last couple of days I had the opportunity to do something for her, since I was at a brain freeze when I was trying to work on this project that I got going for Jade. What I did for Lisa here is kind of, well, as you can see, there's not a picture of her or I or us together there. It's basic, kind of a layout, just a pretty girl layout with my dress form that I cut out. I've been selling these in sets on my blog if you guys are interested. They're just so cute. So what I did is on medium weight chipboard, I cut it in 4, so it's at a 6x6, and I have a lot of my handmade flowers that are up there in the top right and bottom right corner. Some of the Bellot Nouveau and the baby Prima rosettes that I make, and with my punches. And I had a bag of this, those little red flowers. Michael's had a clearance tag on it for 50 cents for the bundle. So obviously I grabbed that. So what I did is I used those little red ones and kind of bundled them together in those 2 corners with my Primas, and used some of the lace that I have for each of the sides there. I believe it was, oh man, I forgot again. What is the name of that paper? Oh, My Mind's Eye. I used My Mind's Eye paper, and I can't remember, darn it, I can't remember the collection again. I don't have it with me, but anyways, it's My Mind's Eye. So I used 2 layers of it. I did some hymnal paper in the background, like on the chipboard itself, some hymnal paper, and that's what's the white showing back here. And I had this little transparency, it's a floral piece, and I cut a little chunk off of it because the red on it matched the color of the reds that are in the micro beads and the flowers. So I set it behind there. And this green fabric, I just cut a little square of it and sat it on top of the transparency that's sitting on top of that hymnal paper. So it just kind of gives it a shadowed kind of a look, or a netted look. And I did the same thing back here. I don't know if you can see any of it, but I'll have some detailed pictures up on my blog so you guys can see. But there is some of that green sheer fabric right under there, in that crack there. So I did the wallpaper technique here. So from behind, I actually did a cross slit, and then pushed it through, and then folded it back and distressed it with my distressing tool. And yeah, so, and then I bought 4 packs of these alphabet letters in the metals. There's like silver and bronze and I think a goldish color. And so I grabbed the L and I stuck that there with the flower, and kind of to help hold it up. So the majority of this is all with my hot glue. I got another of the different colored paper is back here, and it's cut. I used my the Stampin' Up! Top Note die, and then used some of my distress crackle paint. I think it was a vintage photo, and I just did some of that, just like blotches of the paint in different areas. So it's just some crackles and stuff. And then I used some of the distress ink, and with the blending tool I rubbed it over the paint when it was dried, and the actual cracks, or the ink sat in the cracks of the crackle paint. And I liked how that looks, and it didn't look like this weird, muddy, opaque looking paint. It was kind of weird looking, so I like it better with the vintage photo distress on there. And I used a lot of the vintage photo on here, and some of my crushed olive, and I think there was some, oh yeah, some glimmer. I used some different glimmer mists for different areas. The main thing here is the die cuts, though. The Dressform set that I have comes with the actual dress form. Comes with one shoe, one little bag, the actual collar piece, and a belt piece, but I didn't use that for this particular layout. What else does it have? No, in a box, like a shoe box or a hat box. It comes with that too. And what I did is I used some of my matte accent, this stuff, and I just layered it all over the chipboard, and I set my the die cut piece, in the tray for embossing, and just poured out all the microbeads on top and kind of pressed it down in there and let it sit. But I used a Martha Stewart luster glass microbeads. This is in garnet, which is what I use for the dress. And then I used the brownstone Martha Stewart microbeads for the bag and the shoe. And for the handle there, I used the copper-colored microbeads. Can you see that? Sorry. Then I had some of these flat back pearls, the gold one there, and little gold one there, and on the crown, on the shoe. I thought there was another metal. No, I guess I didn't use that one. But I used the flat back ones in the package, and on the dress itself too, that Cassie from Florida Crafter gave me. Thank you, Cassie. And so yeah, I use that for that. And then I have this vintage ticket. It's a bus ticket from London, and I distressed it with my tool and my inks and stuff. And I'm going to get my vintage, like those kinds of tickets and like my vintage paper and stuff from Katie Blueford, and I'll put her Etsy store and her blog down in the description box down there, so you guys can check her out. She's awesome, has some cool stuff. And I buy these metal mint tags here, and I distress it with Distress ink and Glimmer Mist, and heat dried it, and it had gotten this really cool stain back there. And then I cut the words out from some paper, vintage paper thing that I had, and just glued it down with some of my the Scotch quick dry adhesive. And I use this a lot too. Really, really good glue. And then I used my Tim Holtz book plate, and an embellishment charm. Came in a package that said sister, and it said friendship. Did 4 layers of this fabric, and I took the heat tool to it, and it just like singed it. What do you call it? Kind of burns it, so it just crumpled up. So, and I like the effect of that. Layered my some lace back there, and I used some of my vintage photo to stain it up and get it all funky. Hung a little heart charm there. I had a little belt in copper, and I used it for this piece of the lace that was on the other end of that one, and just belted it through there, and used some of my, I think it's ZVA Creations or something like that. It's a different kind of company that makes like blingy type stuff, and I used it for that because it had a cool color to it that I liked. Cut out a crown with the punch, graphic 45 stamp that I cut out, and some beading things, charms that I had, and I used that for the center of that flower. And that's about it. And yeah, so I got some detailed pics on my blog if you guys want to look at some close-ups. And you know what, the same little Prima flowers here, these are the punch-outs for it that I used. Oh, lace for the belt and as a scarf back there. And that's it. Yeah. Alright, you guys, I just wanted to share that with you, and I'm going to send this out to Lisa, and I want to say thank you, Lisa, for always being there. I love you mucho, and I missed you. I miss not having you here, and I just wish you were, especially now. So, alright, you guys, just if you can just leave a comment, let me know what you think. I really like it. And if you guys are interested in the die cuts, I have some on my blog for sale, so head on over. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Jewel signing out of the Jewel box. Bye, guys.